You know, I can't imagine how the family members of the lost loved ones are feeling, but we love every single one of our dogs. We know them by name. We lost members of our family too.
Lost to stormwater that seemed to come out of nowhere, yet had been here before.
Just to come back to DC, you know, we had a really bad storm that went down earlier today. And unfortunately, I know a lot of you guys are pet lovers. And it's so somber when you hear this too, but there was this doggy daycare center that's off of Rhode Island Avenue, I believe in Northeast DC. They made the news last year because when there was a flood, you know, same issue, there was a flooding issue. And when it rained so bad, I mean, you had water that was coming halfway up to your chest the last time that it had rained out there, and it affected this store, this particular establishment. Now, luckily, nobody was hurt. And they had been going back and forth with city officials. Yo, we got to get some type of a tunnel drain built in so that we don't have to worry about water like this piling up when it gets really heavy on the rain. And so it's just been going back and forth. And I guess finally some type of an arrangement was made. However, they didn't get that tunnel drain installed in time as they got hit with a storm earlier today. And unfortunately, there were casualties of this. Now, employees who were there at the time, they were able to escape okay. They had to get help from EMS, fire departments and all that, but they were okay. They were able to manage too. But in the process of all of this, they were trying to make sure that the lives of the animals that were there were also okay. And unfortunately, they're not given a firm number, but multiple animals did not make it. That just breaks your heart if you're a pet lover, you're a pet owner, that just breaks your heart when you hear that, because we think of our furry little friends as a family member. For some of us, they are, if they're not a direct family member, they are an extended member of the family. So when we hear stuff like this that's happening, so many emotions that we feel at the same time. Definitely anger is part of it and everything, right? So to hear that, just even for the pet owners who were able to get down there to that place in time, and they were able to find that, hey, my furry little friend is still alive, their hearts still ached for those that unfortunately were going to get some really bad news. And like I was telling Tams before I came upstairs, because I actually had spent the first couple of minutes just watching the news, looking at the first 10 minutes at least. And like I said to her, it's now, this is going to be, and mark my words, you can easily stay on top of this. If you're curious, you can stay on top of this news and see where this goes, or I'll update you guys. But if I were to make a bold prediction, and this is something that they have been playing around with city officials as far as getting that drain built in and all that since last year. And now you have a result of lives, okay? That should not happen. That should not happen. Mark my words when I say that 9 times out of 10, we're going to see some type of a lawsuit, some type of litigation that's going to go down. And I would imagine victims of this latest storm, they're all going to band together under one law firm, and they're going to try to stick it probably to the city, definitely to that animal establishment, okay, that daycare establishment. They're definitely going to stick it to them. And I would imagine that the establishment is in part, they're going to be like, wait a minute. So we've got the victims suing us, suing the government. And then I would imagine the establishment is the animal establishment. They're also probably going to try to sue the city officials as well. Basically it's a game of hot potato, right? That's how I see this playing out. But I think ultimately it'll get settled out of court. I don't think it's even going to get that far, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, there's a whole lot of craziness that's going on right now. Weird start to the week, man. So in a new update, because I want to make sure that we all are on the same page and everything, in a new update to District Dogs, we had got from the 911 head of the call center in DC, we had got a log that had showed when the calls had came in talking about the flooding that was going on at District Dogs. And it is so heartbreaking to see this, because obviously you have these pet owners, you've got DC lawmakers, officials, everybody's trying to find out, fire department, EMS, everybody's trying to find out what happened here. How did we fail the people at District Dogs, the owners that had put the lives of their pets in the hands of these people at District Dogs? How did we get to this point where such a big old ball of miscommunication? Where did it all go wrong? Because this is all about accountability and everything. And you had the head of the 911 call center. They pretty much was saying, hey, news reporters and everybody else, hey, don't be putting the blame over here, because we've got the call logs and we can take accountability. But here's what went down. So check this out. The day of the incident, at 5:06 p.m., the first call for flooding had came in, and it was from a person that was inside of District Dogs who had said it's flooding horribly. The whole building is going underwater. People and dogs are going underwater. So you hear that and you're going, whoa, WTF, what the heck, man? And then by 5:10, so look at that, from 5:06 and now we're going to 5:10, so 4 minutes later, right? By 5:10, people knew what was going on. By people, I mean the DC 911, the call center, they pretty much knew what was going on. But now it's about, okay, what's going on with the information being transmitted, dispatched to EMS, fire department, because you got to keep in mind, these guys were not finally able to get to the scene for almost 30 minutes. Stay with me here. So you had a second call that came in shortly after the initial call that came in. Then a third call by 5:18 describing that there is a emergency from inside the store. This is at 5:18. So by 5:22, you finally get a radio dispatch that basically is translated to the firefighters, EMS, to say, look, we got this situation over here at District Dogs. Those people need help ASAP. There's people that their lives are on the line here. They could possibly be drowning. Y'all got to get there ASAP because they're experiencing some serious flooding. 5:31 p.m., rescuers made entry as someone called saying that they were trapped. So you're looking at that, you're hearing this information, you're going, how did we, that makes no sense that at 5:06 you're getting the call, and yet 5:31 is when frickin', that makes no sense whatsoever. So you had the director by the name of Heather McGagan. And I gotta tell you, when you look up the image of this woman, I'm telling you, pet lovers out there, if you're upset right now just hearing all of this, you're definitely going to be even more upset when you go out of your way and you see this story, this heartbreaking story, and you see this woman's face and just how she handled this whole press conference that had went down earlier on Monday. It was extremely combative, very confrontational. You had reporters that were so frustrated because all they were trying to do is get legit answers out of this woman, and just as far as the accountability goes, not taking self-accountability whatsoever. Heather McGagan, who I don't think is going to be lasting that long in the position that she's in. She is the director of Unified Communications. She said that as far as the miscommunications and all that goes, basically it came down to 2 911 call center dispatchers. You had one that initially logged in the first report that I read to you guys that came in at 5:06. She initially, Heather McGagan, she said that respected dispatcher coded it in wrong and basically said some type of a water leak. So that's why it did not get escalated the way that it got escalated. And then in addition to that, another issue that was going on, by the time they had realized what exactly was going on, supposedly there was not a proper code that they had in the system to let them know that they were dealing with essentially a collapsed building due to flooding. This is the way this woman had tried to spin it and everything. And, you had some of the reporters saying, hey, look, can you at least acknowledge that you all made mistakes? Can you offer some type of an apology to the pet owners? And what course of actions are going to be taken to make sure that something like this does not happen again? This woman had refused to do those things. Only saying that they're walking through things, they're talking through things, and you're going, what the hell does that mean? What more are you doing? Because that makes no sense whatsoever. And the owner of District Dogs, the owners, they are continuing, the dog owners that lost their furry little loved ones in that flooding, they are continuing to demand answers because there's now this new report that is floating around. They haven't been able to confirm or deny, but basically they're going, wait a minute, were our pets left in cages? And that is essentially how they succumbed to their death, is they were locked in a cage? Because understand something, we didn't talk about this last week, but at this District Dogs place that was off Rhode Island Avenue, pet owners were paying these people up to $700 a month to essentially babysit their pets. While this, basically, look at this almost as if it's human daycare. You have people that 5 days, 6 days a week, dropping their pets off. They go work, do their thing. Maybe after they get off work, go get their pet, or if they're getting ready to go out of town for the weekend. But you got people that were paying upwards close to $700 a month. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I hear $700 a month, just imagine that. You had 10 animals that died. So just hypothetically speaking, let's say you were getting $700 off of those 10 dead animals. And you had, let's say, I think it was 30 animals that were rescued. So again, $700. That is, when me and wifey did the math, we were like, with all that money, and if you're the owner of District Dogs and you're saying, oh, we're waiting on the government to, put in these tunnel drains so they can, for the amount of money that these people were paying to make sure that their pets got all the proper attention, love, and everything, okay? That's enough money to do something where, long as it met code and safety standards, you could have built something on the outside that could have intercepted the water, make sure it was going where it needed to go, out into a sewer drain system, what have you. The owner of District Dogs, he has shut the place down. He has refused to open it back up. He's pretty much said it's closed permanently. He's never going to open it again. He's done. I would imagine at this point, as far as having a local business in the D.C. metropolitan area, including Maryland and Virginia, I would imagine the guy is done. He's going to be going into outside that whole jurisdiction and just pack it up and go elsewhere. But people are still demanding answers. The biggest thing right now is what was going on with our pets. Were our pets locked in cages? And you had some pet owners confront this district dog's owner, and he's refusing to give that information, which, and I think he knows that as far as from a legality standpoint, he is okay. So what I said earlier, as far as, look, I see this litigation going down, I see these pet owners ganging up together, and as far as a multi-class action lawsuit, as far as those involved, the owner of district dogs, the city, trust me when I say Muriel Bowser is not going to be taking this one on the chin. She does not like, she has shown me a very solid track record of, and I'm not saying solid in a complimentary way, I'm just saying as far as, it's the proof's in the pudding, basically. She has shown a strong record for when she gets embarrassed and dragged in the media and all that. No. Who's our fall guy for this? Who was responsible for this? Who was supposed to be on top of this? She makes sure that one way or another, she gets a mofo's resignation. But trust me when I say, as far as a multi-class action lawsuit goes, if it's not already in development, I would imagine before the end of September, it's definitely going to come to fruition and all that. And I cannot stress this enough. Look, man, if at the end of the day, you were to tell me, hey, you can pay anywhere in the upwards of close to $700 to do this, do that for your pet, and then to find out that they're essentially being put in a cage, I don't care how you try to dress that up, oh, they got a TV, they got a sofa, like, cage is a cage, all right? For that amount of money, right, and you just don't know what exactly is going on with that furry little friend, that should give pet owners out there serious caution as far as investing in places like that. You would honestly just do better off making sure that your furry friend, if they're not able to come with you, and that's unfortunate, we all would love to take our furry family members with us wherever we go, those vacations, all of that, but sometimes there's some places where pets aren't allowed. The best thing that you can do, everybody knows at least one friend or one family member who, if you just gave them $50 to $75 for the inconvenience, they would watch your pet. Especially when you say to them, hey man, they don't bite, they're just so lovey-dovey, they just want to cuddle, just play with them, make sure they're getting their food, getting their water. That's it, man. They're pretty much just going to be relaxing the entire time and everything. That friend's going to be like, yeah, sure, I'll, no problem. Seriously, imagine that. Imagine paying somebody $700 freaking dollars. Even if you got it like that financially, just imagine coming out of your pocket, I'm going to give somebody $700 to take care of this pet, to take care of my pet.
I just can't believe it.
We certainly appreciate the support.